Hey everyone, and welcome to the Ask Nicole weekly live stream. My name is Nicole, and I have a marketing company called Breaking Even Communications. That's been in operation for almost 15 years. That means I get to see a lot of interesting kind of client examples, and it also means I've gotten to learn a lot of random stuff over the years. And so today I wanted to talk to you about chatbots. Now, I really wanted to call this broadcast instead of Intro to Chatbots. I wanted to call it Talking to Robots, but I thought maybe I'd be the only person who thought that was funny and you would have no idea what I was talking about. So to give you an idea of what a chatbot is, I'm sure you've experienced one without necessarily knowing that you have. So think about, I don't know, your favorite or not so favorite telecommunications company, and think about maybe you wanted some service and you went to their website, you saw they had a little chat feature, and so you started kind of typing stuff into the chat feature. And it was replying back to you, but it didn't seem like a real person just by the way it was responding. That's a chatbot. Now, chatbots can be programmed to work kind of any place you would want that sort of chat functionality, whether it is on a website, whether it is on social media like Facebook, Instagram. We have all these different ways now that people can message us as companies, right? People can message us on Google My Business, they can message us on WhatsApp, and you might wish there was some kind of streamlined way to get people maybe to the information they would need, especially if you weren't in a situation to tell them that information. So for example, let's say that I owned a yoga studio, and let's say that I enjoy going to bed super early. One of those things that, by the way, is actually true. So let's say that I go to bed, right? But someone messages me at 11 p.m. after I've been asleep for a couple of hours and says, hey, I want to drop into tomorrow's yoga class. Do you have any room? Now, I know that drop-ins are totally fine with me, but I am not awake to see your message. And so therefore, I wake up in the morning and see that you could have come to my yoga class, and that kind of bums me out. So a chatbot can respond to that person when they send the message, even if you can't. So to me, if a chatbot is programmed badly, it feels like a robot that doesn't want to talk to you. And if it's programmed well, it can feel like a way for a company to be immediately responsive to you, get you to information you need, and maybe be interactive and fun, kind of like a Cosmo quiz, but over chat. So what I thought I'd do today is go over some basic features of chatbot programming. If you're watching this and you're like, oh, I'd like to learn a little bit more about this, just leave a comment wherever you're watching this. I love comments and I really appreciate just getting any kind of feedback about the kind of things you want to see more of. And, just as a quick heads up too, if you like this video and you're watching it and you think it's great, wherever you're watching this now, there are past videos. So if you can scroll back in the archives and see them. But if you want them in a bit more of an organized way, I recommend going to YouTube because I can make things there like playlists, which organize stuff by topic. You can also go to our website too. They're all posted there as well. So I wanted to go over, like I said, some basic chatbots functionality and ideas. And the best way to do that is to show you one piece of software that lets you program a chatbot, which is called Manychat. Now, there's a lot of these chatbot programming softwares out there. The features I'm going to show you today on Manychat are in the free version of Manychat. So if you watch this today and you think it's cool, you'll be able to go to manychat.com, set up an account, and actually start doing this for free right away. Obviously, minus your time. So we're going to take a look. I think I'll do it this way. Yeah, that works. Okay, so this is the Manychat screen. And honestly, like chatbots can be used right as a way not only to, I guess, save you some time and effort in terms of answering messages, but also, you can connect them to all kinds of tools where your customers message you already. You can also take a chatbot and put it on your website as well. So when we first log in, as you see here in the upper right corner, this is a pro account. I'm not going to show you any of the pro features in this account. So if you see something that I'm showing you today, that is because, it is all doable with the free version. Just this particular account, i.e. our account, is pro because we do use some of the pro features. I'm just not going to show them to you today. I might allude to them, but I won't spend a lot of time on them. Now, I haven't gone through the lessons. That's why it says 0%. I haven't gone through the lessons, but I have obviously set up the chatbot because I'm doing this broadcast. So the first thing that we want to think about is some kind of welcome sequence. So when someone first messages you, what kinds of things do you want them to know? Or maybe when they first message you, you have, I don't know, maybe you have a few different product lines. So maybe say you're an educational consultancy and you work with parents and you work with students and you work with schools, right? Obviously, the way you work with those three different groups of people is different. So maybe at the very beginning of the welcome, you want them to pick what they are. Are they a student? Are they a parent? Are they a school? And based on that, you're going to ask them some questions or present them some information. So any kind of thing like that, where I pick a thing and it starts something, is a sequence. At least that's what I think it's called. So the welcome, like I said, welcome is one kind of sequence. But for example, in the educational consultancy that I was talking about, if I get the welcome sequence, I pick that I'm a parent, that starts the parent sequence. So it's almost like one of those choose your own adventure books, except on the internet. So if you're very good at having theoretical conversations, you're going to be very good at chatbot programming. So I'm just going to show you kind of really quickly how our welcome sequence works. So basically, by clicking on automation, I'm going to see multiple sequences, but I'm just going to concentrate on the welcome one for now. I just wanted to allude to the fact that you don't just have to have one. You can have multiple. I don't know if it's called a flow or a sequence. I think it's called, okay, I guess it's called a flow. Same idea, guys. Okay. I love that I was like scrolling on the other screen. So as you see, I have like multiple sequences going, but I'm just going to click on the welcome message sequence, which apparently I set up 2 years ago. Now, what you can do with the sequence is you can give the person information based on several things. So we see here what the conversion rates have been like over the time that I've had the chatbot. And so this is an example sequence. It's in the middle of my screen. I get that it's probably a little bit small. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit on that. But we see that it says, "Hi, thanks for contacting us." Now, if I wanted to, I could actually have it automatically insert the person's first name. I'm just going to make it a little bigger. There we go. That's a little bit easier to see. And as you see, there is this typing for 3 seconds. Now, I can actually program how long I want for it to type. And then it is going to show this second message. And it's going to say, "We're going to ask you some questions to get you to the right info. But if you want to skip that, you can skip this and just type your message." So if someone types something else other than this, they'll just go right to our thing, and that's no problem. But if we want to get them some additional information first, we see that they can either click on website help, marketing help, or other help. They're buttons. And as we see, we can see the click-through rate over time of what those buttons are, kind of what people have been interested in. Now, it's very easy to edit this if I want to. This does not require a lot of programming. I'm just going to hit this edit flow button. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring me to this, but the editing screen. Now, what happens is every time that I type a new thing, I try to like put the name of it on the top so that when I refer to the right steps, I can kind of see them here. So here is all of the potential steps that are possible. But what I do is I just kind of program one of them at a time. So I say, "Hi, thanks for talking to us." And let's say I wanted to change this typing step and I wanted to change it to 5 seconds. There we go. And as you see, since I made a change, the button has changed. And now the button says publish. So that means like these changes haven't taken effect yet, but there are changes. So as you see here, I can edit what these buttons say, and I can edit, hold on, the chatbot, clear all. There we go. As you see, it shows, here's the button title. And when the button is pressed, it goes into website help, which is one of these options over here. So I can do all kinds of stuff here in terms of, customizing what kind of links they go to, what it says. I can even add, as you see, little emojis here. And if I wanted to add like a new element, it's really all this stuff down here is stuff that I can theoretically add to the sequence. So I can add a series of images maybe, or, a video or something like that. Now, where we get into the pro version is, let's say I wanted to, collect email addresses, and I wanted the email addresses to automatically go into my email system. I could say, "Hey, type your email and we'll add you to our marketing list." That's what that user input is. So I can get some custom inputs, or actually that might be the dynamic thing. And the user input might just be, I can wait until the person types something specific. I can ask a question, and when they type something, then it will trigger asking them another question. So all this to say, that's the more advanced features. But as you see, in terms of showing content, buttons, that kind of thing, it's all built in as a free thing. So a welcome sequence is a really nice thing to do because it orients people maybe to the resources that they might want to access as part of contacting your business. And over time, you can see kind of what people click on, and you can get people to the resources they need right away. Now, if you look up us on Facebook, it says that we respond immediately to stuff. And that just doesn't mean that we're sitting up all night, immediately responding to messages. That means we have this turned on and the message is able to be responded to. So clearly, like I said, you can have this welcome sequence if you want to give everyone the same kind of welcome, or if you have different kinds of audiences, you might want to make sequences based on what people self-select for. But there's lots of other really cool things that you can do here as well. Now, the other thing that is possible back here, which you see is called keyword triggers. So for example, if someone types in a certain word, maybe you want to send them a certain kind of message. So if they say the word hours, or whatever, or they say, open time or something like that, you can program a keyword trigger for your frequently asked questions. So this way, what I figure is if it's the same thing, whether you type it or a robot types it, I say let the robot type it. And, when you do a keyword trigger, it's super easy. If I want to just say, so I only have this program for Facebook Messenger. So if someone has the word hours or open, I'm going to create a messenger keyword trigger. And what I can do is I can either create a new reply or select existing. So if someone types in hours and I want them to start in a whole sequence, I'm not sure why I'd want to do that, because I feel like asking if you're open and what time you're open is a pretty straightforward, non-multiple choice question. But I can just create a new reply. And what it's going to do is pull me into here, and it's going to say, okay, there we go. Comment, reply, other. I'm just going to say other. Here we go. Okay. That content type is a little bit more of an advanced feature, but you can just pick other. That's fine. Typically, responses that are not other are things like order information or something like that. So typically it's more e-commerce-y, the other kinds of responses. But since this is a keyword trigger, other is just fine. And then if I wanted to, I could put a button here that says back to the main chat, or I could put a link here and put our phone number. If it's urgent, they could call us. So, yeah, so that's all of these things are possible. And all I do is hit publish, and that goes online. So keyword triggers, like I said, might answer kind of some of your FAQs that you get a lot. And if you find yourself typing the same things over and over again, it could be a good way for you to save your time or your admin's time as well. Now, there's also, like I said, there's other stuff back here. But the third thing I just want to mention is there's also something called broadcast messages. I don't want to click on my contacts because everybody who has ever started a message on Facebook Messenger through the chatbot is listed as one of our contacts. Now, what we're allowed to do is within 24 hours of someone messaging, I am allowed to reach out. I'm allowed to send a broadcast message. But if it's been more than 24 hours since the person has messaged us, you're not allowed to just randomly message people who have messaged your company page. What you can do is you can send them a message if you're not actually trying to sell them something. It can just be more conversational. If you want good examples of this, by the way, there is a chatbot on Facebook. There's a page called God, and you can subscribe to the God chatbot. And it's a really good example of how to reach out without selling anything, because I just subscribed to it for a few weeks just for fun. And I would get messages like, we hope you are doing well, my child. Is, how is your Thursday or something like that. And if I don't respond, right, I don't re-engage with the chatbot. If I do reply to God, or the chatbot of God, more accurately, I'm back in their 24-hour allowed to message me window. So, like I said, there are some rules in place now so that companies don't abuse this feature, but there is a way that you can reach back out to people who have messaged you through a chatbot type platform. So I think they're great tools. Like I said, you can't really just use them exclusively, but they can definitely help the admin workflow. They can help people get to other parts of your website. And we've definitely got, for example, Anchorspace members from our chatbot, because it kind of asks them questions and it gets them to the right membership. I know of at least 2 memberships that have come in that way because I can see that. So yeah, it can be good for multiple kinds of businesses. Facebook has kind of built-in auto messages into the pages feature. So if it feels like you don't want to set up a whole thing, there is a feature on your Facebook page where in messages you can basically, if someone writes you a message or asks you a common question, you can respond to that automatically within the Facebook page, something you can program back there. But if you want to do something a little bit more sophisticated or a little bit more customized, that's what something like Manychat can help you do. And as you see, it's not highly technical in terms of setup, but it does allow some interesting features in terms of being able to, like I said, share different kinds of content and also get people to either click on a link, whether it's on your website or to another message, or whether it's, clicking on something like a phone number or an email address so they can see it. So that's all I got for today. Like I said, if you want a kind of more advanced tutorial, we can totally do that in a future video. Just leave a comment. Otherwise, I will see you next week for another episode of Ask Nicole. Thanks so much for watching. And if you have a friend who's a small business owner and you think they would like to learn a little bit more about marketing, I hope that you share this information with them, because try to be as useful as possible, and in particular, try to bring you great free or low cost tools to promote your business. So have a great week. See you next time.